Hello, this is going to be a tarot and or oracle card reading. Not sure what cards I'm going to use yet, but for all signs. Okay, so if you were brought to this reading, I'm sure this is meant for you to see. I'm sure there's a sign in here for you, but as with all of these readings, they are general collective, so you do need to use your intuition to know for sure. If you want some help with that, I do personal readings. You can get it on my website. The link will be in the description box below. It is www.bossasswitch1111.com. All right, and before I get started, I'm going to take one quick second to pop my disclaimer up on the screen. If you have never heard it or read it, take a second to pause and read through it, if you will. Otherwise, we're going to get started and we're going to find out what you have coming in for your love life. All right, we're going to use this stuff right here called Romance in Love to get started. All right, first card out is that someone's going to surprise you. Awesome. So expect a surprise coming up in the near future. And in this case, it looks like he could potentially be down on one knee. So I don't know if this surprise is going to be marriage. I guess we're going to find out as we go through this reading. But this particular card is letting you know that there are romantic surprises on the horizon for you and to be open to receiving these surprises. So right now, your energy is pulling in some kind of surprise and romance. Keep in mind, the energy can change, but this is Spirit's way of letting you know what's coming your way. This might be a long distance relationship. So this might be somebody who lives far away from you. Love knows no distance. It transcends time and space. Maybe this person is going to show up and surprise you, and then maybe even propose. So we will see as we keep doing this reading if proposal comes out. They are letting us know that there might be a sacrifice that you or your person needs to make. Love may come with sacrifices. Evaluate what you're willing to give up. So you might have to give up something. I don't know. Does that mean that in order to be together, maybe they have to sacrifice and move to be with you, or vice versa, or something else? Let's find out more. Okay. Somebody in the past, at least, has been holding back, maybe telling you how they feel, telling half-truths. It says avoidance and open, honest communication, holding back, vague. I don't know if this is your person, though, because we also have a gossip. Someone is speaking about you, and it's influencing their decisions. So there might actually be somebody influencing them, your person, and telling half-truths so that it's believable. Or another way I could look at this is maybe they're telling you half-truths and avoiding something. But also there might be somebody that's influencing their decision. But it seems like to me, since these came out together, I think it's that there's someone else who's telling them things and they're half-truths. So, you know, it may, like if they looked into it or whatever, it would look like it's true, but they're twisting it. Or you could have somebody doing this with you. Maybe that's what needs to be sacrificed. Now, whatever's going on there, it seems like because divine protection came out with this, it seems like maybe the angels are saying that they're going to come in and intervene here. Potentially, it says your angels and guides are shielding you in love and in life. So you're being protected. This connection in a way is being protected So if this gets to be too much to where I see walking away on the bottom, so where somebody needs to walk away from somebody who's gossiping, I feel like there's going to be divine intervention. This says in order to evolve, sometimes you have to leave what you've outgrown. So somebody's going to have to make a sacrifice and walk away from somebody who gossips, somebody who tells half-truths. So I just feel like for a lot of you, this is going to be, maybe your person is going to be making a sacrifice and walking away from somebody. So maybe your person is at a long distance from you. And they were with somebody, or they had a friend or a family member or something who was giving them advice or gossiping about the situation or something, like influencing them, but not telling them the truth, like twisting things on kind of on purpose. So maybe they're going to be making the sacrifice and walking away from this person, and then with long distance in a train coming to see you to surprise you, coming towards you. Or, you know, we can take that and switch that. So if you think you've got somebody that you need to walk away from who is gossiping, if you need to make that sacrifice, you should do that. Trust your intuition on this one, because this could be one where it's one thing for some people and other things for other people. Now, there could also be the storyline here of like you needing to walk away from this person in order to get them back. That happens a lot in my readings. I do a lot of readings on TikTok Live, and I do a lot of readings for twin flames. We do have divine protection, so this could be a twin flame reading. Where it's like you need to walk away from this person because of the energy they're in, or you did. Maybe they weren't telling you how they feel. Maybe somebody was influencing their decision, so it's best for you to walk away, or you did. Maybe you need to keep doing that if they're still in this energy. But later on down the line, this pushes them to heal and work on themselves, and then they come back. And when they finally come back in the right energy, then you don't have to walk away anymore. So it could be this whole walk away to get them back. So I could see 3 different situations here. And it could be different for different people. So this is going to have to, unfortunately, be one of those situations where you need to use your intuition. But whatever the case, long term, I do see somebody, I guess, surprising you. It could be that you need to surprise them. But I think, especially if you're a twin flame and you're a divine feminine, I don't think you should be surprising them. I think the masculine should be surprising the feminine here, because the feminine needs to be in receptive mode and the masculine needs to be in the giving mode, the chasing mode. But either way, spirits are telling you that you are divinely protected. Your relationship is divinely protected. So if you don't make this sacrifice, or if they don't make this sacrifice, the divine will come in and intervene with, you know, it's what we would normally say. When you're supposed to be on a path, you do have free will to try to do other things, but the divine's going to keep trying to get you back on the right path. Unless in the bottom pits of your soul, you wholeheartedly want to rewrite the script, then that's possible. But, you know, if you have a soul purpose, a destiny here, this pre-written script, and you're veering off of it, usually the divine will try to push you back on it, right? So sometimes that means tower moments if you don't do it yourself. So I feel like this divine protection card is letting you know that if your person wasn't walking away from somebody when they should, there's going to be a tower moment, or there has been. And maybe this person now is headed towards you to surprise you. Just because you're getting this reading today doesn't mean this is going to happen right away. It could be a while. They could just be letting you know ahead of time that that's what's in the distant future. We'll see what comes out in the reading. But I feel like they're going to want to come in and sweep you off your feet. They're going to surprise you and want to sweep you off your feet. A whirlwind romance will soon sweep you off your feet. So that's your heads up that if there was somebody who wasn't walking away from something that didn't serve them, there's going to be divine intervention, whether that's you or your person. If you guys are supposed to be doing something on your own and you're not, the divine will come in and create a tower moment that kind of forces you to. And sometimes that doesn't feel so good, but it gets you where you need to go. Like I said, this might have something to do with you or your person walking away from outside influences who speak half-truths or just gossip or whatever. Somebody speaking maybe your person telling you half-truths about a situation, whatever the case. The tower moment will make them sacrifice if that's what needs to be done. Or this could be you, but chances are this is your person. Like I said, it also could be if your person comes towards you, but you know that they're not in the right energy. It could be you needing to make the sacrifice to walk away from them. So I'm having a problem with my throat. So yeah, this might be them not being able to speak their truth, having problems speaking up. So this could be the moment where they're coming in. Maybe they lived a long distance and they're coming in and they're coming to sweep you off your feet. But maybe it could be a situation where they're not quite ready to give you what you want and you're going to be asked to make a sacrifice and walk away from them for now. Because this might be the time where the masculine has to be triggered to go deeper and do the work. So unfortunately, like I said, you do need to use your intuition to know which is which, because this is a general collective. Sometimes I could clarify and dig deeper, but I'm feeling intuitively not to do that. So I think for some people that are going to be watching it, it's going to be one situation, and for others, it's going to be another situation. So I think if you want to know for sure, consider getting a personal on my website. And then if it's personal, I will dig in and try to figure out what exactly is going on. But with the general, I kind of feel like I have to leave it there unless we get another card that helps me to figure this out. Okay, so we do have a potential storm coming in. I mean, I guess it could be that you've already dealt with the storm, but we have weather the storm. So there's a storm, but you'll weather it. It says storms pass on their own if you let them. It's easy to love them in the good times, but it's just as important to love them in the bad. Restore your faith in love. But don't get loving someone twisted with putting up with bad behavior. You can still set boundaries, and sometimes you have to walk away, but you can still love them. But I feel like this card is saying, like, once in the future, you get to the future and your person's healed and ready to be with you, to let go of all the negativity from the past storms and be open to loving. So get ready to allow your heart to open to them once they're ready. It says, allow them to heal their past pain. So allow them to change, allow them to heal, and not see them the same way you've always seen them if they messed up because they had pain. You may have to wait a little while before they ever commit to another. But once they're in a better place, they will take that leap of faith. Okay, so what this is telling me is that your situation here, and this could be one of those, if they're coming back now, trying to sweep you off your feet, trying to surprise you, even if that's them popping the question, do look out for red flags, because this could be especially if this is a twin flame reading, I do feel like that's what we're coming up in the future on, is most of the twin flames where the divine masculine is, quote unquote, starting to wake up, and wants to rush in because he's realizing you are who he wants to be if you're the feminine, right? But he's not healed. He hasn't had that time period that you had where you were triggered and got to heal. So allow them to heal. But this is saying it's going to take time. So this means this time, if this is them rushing in For a lot of you, this could be them rushing in and you needing to make a sacrifice and walking away because the time is not right. Even though they're wanting to surprise you, it could be tempting because you waited so long for this to happen and now it's going to happen. But they might think, I want to be with you. I want to commit to you. I want to propose to you. So that might look in the surface like, oh, they're finally ready to commit. But the truth is they're just starting to wake up. They haven't done all that healing that will allow them to give you what you want. So allow them to heal. And this is saying it could take time. So that means the union is not imminent. Them rushing in could be sooner rather than later. But I think for a lot of you, this sacrifice, now that we're getting into this, is maybe they're still going to be coming in telling you half-truths. They had people influencing them, whatever. But I think the walking away here is what I would normally say in a twin flame reading, is you needing to walk away. And that's the sacrifice that needs to be made right now, is you needing to walk away and just you knowing that this is a divinely protected relationship. You will weather the storm. But the way to weather it is by you setting boundaries if they're still not giving you what you need, and then trusting the process with divine protection. Like, trust that this is protected. Trust that if he's not doing what he's supposed to do, he or she, they will intervene. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do, they will intervene. So I think this reading is showing up for you to tell you to expect somebody that you either haven't heard from long distance emotionally or physically to come rushing in, wanting to sweep you off your feet, wanting to surprise you. And there might even be a proposal, but that doesn't mean that now's the time to accept it, unfortunately. Because we do have, again, allow them to heal. So this is saying you may have to wait a little while longer before they're ready. There's another storm coming, and this is them rushing in, but you walking away, you making that sacrifice. Because what I find myself saying this a lot, because with twin flames, there's this certain like set storyline. And what we've been through so far is the feminines waking up, doing all this work, getting close to surrender. So the feminines, a lot of the feminines have surrendered or are close to surrender. And when they do, the masculine doesn't feel their energy anymore. He goes into soul shock. He starts to wake up. He rushes in because he realizes who she is. He wakes up to it. But just waking up does not make him ready for the commitment, because now he's got to do all the work, same kind of work you've done, right? It's probably taken you years. So the timing for union is not quite right. I don't know if it's going to take them years as well, or if they're going to have less healing to do. Maybe they've been healing all this time that we've been healing. I'm not sure, but this is saying it's not going to be time. So I feel like this is starting to turn into and clarify for me that for a lot of people, this is your person rushing in and you needing to make the sacrifice and walking away for now, and trusting that the storm will pass in divine timing. You know, they love to say divine timing. And to know that it's divinely protected. I'm seeing get out of the rut on the bottom. So if you've been feeling like you're in a rut, you need to get out of it. I have myself sometimes. So, you know, when I'm a divine feminine in the collective, and that there's a reason why they call it the collective. It's because we're all going through a very similar, the twin flame lesson plan, I call it, the twin flame storyline. Like I said, usually the storyline is that the masculine's gonna rush in. That's the next step anyway. The past was the feminine waking up first and being the energetic chaser, which made the masculine run. But once the feminine was supposed to do all this work on herself, you know, go through a glow up, probably learn what your soul purpose is. I think that's intricate to this moving forward. Get out of your rut. Surrendering, and when you do, and just focusing on yourself, when you do, then the masculine wakes up. So I think this is kind of what they're talking about here, is the part where he's waking up, he's rushing in, wanting to surprise you. But in that moment, you're going to be asked to slow your roll. Don't always respond immediately or be so available. Okay, my Amazon Fire just beeped. I don't know if you guys heard that, so that was confirmation. Don't always respond immediately or be so available. Keep them a little off kilter. It's magnetic. Slow it down and let them work their way up your priority list. So this is about you taking control of the situation, almost becoming the runner. I don't think we call the feminine the runner when the tables turn per se, but maybe a little bit of like, I know the roles reverse, right? He becomes the chaser. So you're either setting boundaries and saying no, because it just doesn't feel quite right, or maybe you're the one kind of running. Remember, this is called runner chaser. So sometimes the roles have to flip flop because we needed to be triggered first to get in and heal our wounds. Now it's their turn. Now I don't know if it's going to go back and forth for a while or if it's just our turn then their turn, but it's definitely going to be their turn coming up. So you're being asked to, when he comes rushing in, slow it down. Make a sacrifice, because to you it's going to feel like a sacrifice. You've been waiting all this time. Just relax, lay down and relax here. In this bed of roses. Love may come with sacrifices. Evaluate what you're willing to give up. I think what you need to give up in this moment is rushing back, allowing it when it's not time. Give them more freedom. So again, this is about, there's this clear here that they're saying it's not time to accept them. So that is, it's become more clear. And honestly, I should have assumed this from the beginning. I've done enough readings where this is the storyline, but I wasn't even sure if this was going to be a twin flame reading. I'm trying not to just go straight to assuming and letting that bias the reading. So this time I really, for some reason, allowed it for me to not fit it in that box and keep it open, but it's really come out to what it normally would be. This is the masculine rushing in and you being asked to make a sacrifice in that moment by not, I know you've been waiting for it, it'll be a temptation, but really in that moment it's a test. Did you learn the lessons of setting boundaries? So this is you setting boundaries. Seeing the red flags, trusting your intuition. Your intuition will probably in that moment tell you that something they're not quite ready. Because remember, they wake up first and that it dawns on them, holy crap, this is my person. Now they're rushing in, right? But they haven't had the time to do the full healing process that will make them get to where you are. All that healing you've done, all that, removing the toxicity, all the things you've done on yourself, they haven't had the time to do that yet. So then they're not going to be that, I want to say perfect partner, but nobody's perfect, but you get what I'm saying. Like to be that, the good partner for you. You've done the healing. Now they need the time. So unfortunately, when this happens, when they come rushing in, wanting to sweep you off your feet and surprise you, maybe even propose to you, unfortunately, you're going to be asked to slow it down enough to see the red flags. Maybe you don't say, I hate to ruin our proposal, but maybe you don't say yes right away. Maybe you say, well, let's give it some time, to see if you're ready. It's saying here, they ran for so long. So it's saying here, make them work their way up your priority list. Don't always respond immediately or be so available. Keep them a little off kilter. It's magnetic. So I hate to say it's like playing games, but there is something here about energy, like if you're chasing, then they're running. In this case, you're pulling back. Give them their freedom. It takes courage to accept them as a free spirit since you risk losing them, but you have to have faith that in the end, they will always choose you. So they're asking you to set boundaries and give them their freedom. Even if they're trying to rush in, this is the time where they're rushing in, but you have to make a sacrifice. And that is letting them back in. That's the sacrifice for long-term success. The sacrifice is immediate gratification of allowing yourself to be swept up. Feeling, you would get an instant gratification if you allowed them to sweep you up because it would be romantic, right? And you'd get to experience them a little bit, but you wouldn't get the full experience. So you're going to make a sacrifice for, of not letting them in when you really want to, because you waited so long for long-term success, where if you wait and make them work for it and wait till they've proven it, this is going to make your connection, your relationship stronger long-term. So you're making a short-term sacrifice of allowing them to rush back in when they're not ready, it's really just going to hurt you further if you do that. For long-term success, this is not to say you're sending them packing forever, but they are telling you to slow your roll, give them freedom right now, trust and have faith that in the end they will always choose you. We have a couple cards here. You may have to wait a while before they ever commit to another, but once they're in a better place, they will take the leap of faith. So these cards are saying they're going to come back to you. They're always going to come back to you, but they're not ready when they come rushing in. So this is a typical twin flame reading. I didn't know that. Yeah, look, play hard to get. Oh my God, they're telling you to play games. Play hard to get. It's not about being a bitch and playing hard to, playing games, but it's that energy. If they feel you will always be there no matter what, they do. Playing hard to get will interrupt that mentality, and they'll value more what they have to work for. It's exactly what I freaking just said, right? So you are being asked to not let them rush back so quickly. That's the sacrifice. And you walking away, at least temporarily, it doesn't have to be completely long term. This is the long game, is what I've learned out of this situation. It's not, oh, I work on myself and poof, we're in union. No, it's I work on myself, now they got to work on themselves. This is a years long journey for a lot of people. For some people, maybe it's not so long because maybe you don't have as many things to heal. But for some twin flame couples, it's a many, many years long journey. It could be 10 years, it could be 20 years. I hate to tell you that, but for me, it's been 6 since I met him. So, and he hasn't, I don't think he's really done the rush back in. Well, he kind of did. So maybe that's done. I don't know. But this is a time where if he is rushing back in, trying to sweep you off your feet, for you, if you're seeing this, chances are you're going to have to make a sacrifice and walk away. He's going to be telling you half-truths. So he's going to be telling you some of what he feels, or something about the situation, something to have to do with gossip. But you're going to have to pick up on the red flags. And you're being told, slow the roll, slow it down, give them freedom. It's not time. Play hard to get, because it's going to make the relationship stronger in the end. It's going to make them value you more, want you more. I have heard before that, specifically with natural born men, and we're really with anybody, and it's human nature to want what you can't have, or in this case, want what you work for. I heard that with men, dating advice would be to make them work for it. They value it more. Okay, so even so generally, if you have a kid and you just give your kid everything, they don't value money because they didn't have to work for it. It's the same thing. So you're being asked to get out of a rut. If you're feeling like you're in a rut. So in the meantime, yeah, they're going to come rushing in, and you're going to have to stand strong. You're going to have to be healed enough to resist that temptation, make that sacrifice, and continue to walk away. Continue to say, slow your roll. Continue to make them work for it, or start making them work for it if you haven't. But in the meantime, while they're over doing their work, you're not waiting around for them. But when they're over there doing their work, you need to be focusing on yourself and trying to uplift yourself. And in this case, maybe if you're feeling in a rut, to try and get out of the rut. It says if these things don't feel enough for you and you want to create more excitement, try to think about what needs to happen and be part of the solution. If these things don't feel enough for you. I don't know what exactly they're talking about, but she has black on, which black's actually not a bad color. It actually protects us from negativity and stuff. But if you look at light versus dark, that metaphor, we're supposed to be twin flame earth angels. So since she has these wings, these feathers, maybe this is, in my mind, symbolizing her maybe in being in a dark phase, not really having her white outfit on, right? Her earth angel white outfit. So maybe in her shadow. So needing to heal, to get out of that shadow, to get out of maybe depression. So make sure you're doing your shadow work and healing. Make sure you're trying to think positive, listen to positive affirmations. If you can't get yourself to think positive, all you got to do is reach for the phone, put on YouTube, put your headphones on, and put on positive affirmations. You don't have to believe it at first, just let it run. If you can't talk to yourself that way, if you're in such a rut, if you're so depressed, she looks really sad. But if you can force yourself to do the shadow work, do that. But if you can find a way to get up and move around, take a walk, get outside, do things that make you happy, dance, get out of the rut. If these things don't feel enough for you and you want to create more excitement, try to think about what needs to happen and be part of the solution. So what would excite you? What needs to happen? Is it the shadow work? What would get you out of the rut? So meditate on that. But if you can't figure it out, just try to put on songs that make you happy, because I've noticed myself personally anyway, that if I'm really tired and stuff, if I put on a certain song, it reminds me of the movie Weekend at Bernie's, where they put on the song and the body just starts moving. That's how I get, you get a song I love and I just can't help but, dance, and it turns my mood. So if there's a song that'll turn your mood, put it on. Or if you can just use subliminals, maybe you don't feel it at first, but it's supposed to get into your subconscious. When you think negative, it rewires your brain to think more negative and vice versa. So put on those subliminals if you have to. Get out and to force yourself out of bed and take a walk if you're in that much of a rut, Do what's going to make you happy. This could also be doing something that you're passionate about to get out of the rut. Because again, she's got this dark on, and again, black is not a bad color, but metaphorically, when I see that, I think fallen angel here or something, like somebody who's in their shadow. So needing to heal. But also if you just do your soul purpose, it's kind of hard to do it if you're not feeling it though. So, but if you just do something that you love, find something that you love and do it. Turn the negative into the positive, this card says. So this is a confirmation. Turn the negative into the positive. Having relationship challenges or having a negative mindset can affect the way you see your partner and yourself. Replace that negativity with positivity. So think positive to get out of the rut. And like I said, if you can't bring yourself to think positive, write a gratitude journal. If you can't bring yourself to think positive about anything, put on subliminals. Because you can reach for the phone and put it on. We also have learn to communicate better. If you take something and understand it wrongly, it is a misunderstanding. Whether it is about the words, actions, or behavior, learn to communicate better. So there could be in this situation, not to say that, you're in the wrong and they're in the right ever, because there's obviously things they need to change and heal too, because you're being asked to walk away when they come in. They're not ready yet. Okay. But you do need to communicate your needs. So before walking away, before you make this sacrifice, you do need to set boundaries and communicate why you're walking away and do it in the right way. There might also be something you're taking wrongly, because it says if you take something and understand it wrongly, it's a misunderstanding, whether it's about words, actions, or behavior. Learn to communicate better. So there might be something here that they're doing that you're taking wrong as well. Yes, there's things they need to work on because you are being asked to walk away, but first, make sure you're communicating correctly so that they know what to work on. But also there might be something here that you're misunderstanding yourself. So take some time to think about that. Meditate on it. So that's what we have for today. If you feel like this is for you, but you want more information, consider getting a paid personal on my website. The link, again, it will be down in the description box below, www.bossasswitch1111.com. I have $30 readings. I put on there, I think it's 30 minutes to an hour, but that's like bare minimum. Usually they're about an hour or more for a $30 reading right now. But I do have longer readings. I do have 2-hour readings. So if you can afford that, I do recommend the longer the better, because obviously the more time we have, the more cards we can get. So the more advice we can get for you, the more guidance we can get to you. If this showed up on your feed, you know, God is trying to, the divine is trying to lead and guide you to union, right? And that's, they're saying this is where it's headed. But this is your advice right now, is when they come rushing in, make that sacrifice, walk away, slow your roll, give them freedom, work on you getting out of your rut, okay? Let them heal, you know, give them love through the storm anyway. Play a little hard to get. This is your advice, okay? So this is what happens when you get a reading. You get advice. It's going to help you guys work things out and get into union. A lot of times we get advice on your soul purpose too. So if you want more information about the love situation or anything else, even the soul purpose, consider one of my pages. Again, it's www.bossasswitch1111.com. But again, the more cards I get, the more information I can get, the more confirmations I can get. So I love the longer readings. But if you don't have money for that, I can work with the $30 one too. We get a lot of information. So consider that. And if not, I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Make sure to follow and hit the notification bell and like and all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.